Everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Blank Slate Minicast. And welcome to the new year, the new rebrand. I am very excited to be recording again. It's actually only January 6th, so I'm coming back to work a little earlier than I anticipated, but you still won't see this until a few weeks from now. So, in today's episode, we are going to be discussing how I have been doing with my New Year's resolutions, what the next year looks like for me on my channel, and just all kinds of updates. So, in last year's minicast episode, I spoke about this change in mindset of kind of getting rid of everything that did not serve me anymore and coming into the new year just trying to rest, relax, take it day by day. And I have to say, I feel like overall, I have been doing pretty well. I took the holidays to spend with friends and family. I did a good deep clean of a lot of the rooms in the house, and I'm currently in the midst of a bedroom renovation, which I know does not sound like relaxing, but it has been. It's been something different, something I've been wanting to do. Obviously, a video will come of that. Like, why do something if it's not for content? But this break, which I think will be 4 weeks total, has given me time to kind of do all the things that I've put on the back burner because I've just been trying to, like, take it week by week on YouTube, and that has not been working, but we'll discuss YouTube a bit later. So that's been going pretty well, though I have found myself a few days kind of being like, ooh, should I come back now? Should I start now? Or worrying that, hey, my analytics are going down, or just getting anxious again about things that I kind of have no control over or that just I don't need to be anxious about. And I'm trying to like change that and stop that. And some of that is, kind of like just how I was born, and other stuff is just because of things that have happened. But we're going to change that. Again, having anxiety for no reason does not serve me. So that is something I am trying to get rid of. And it kind of looks like I'm making lists or just like taking a moment to be like, do I actually need to worry about this in this moment? Is the time pressure real or is it my head? And of course, like 99% of the time, it is in my head and it can be done tomorrow, the next day, a week from now. So, obviously, no major change is going to happen over 2 weeks, but as I like to say, it's all about just little incremental changes. And I feel like even just taking that moment to try to decipher, like, is this a real worry or is this kind of, just manufactured in my head, has helped. So in last month's minicast, we also spoke about this like change in mindset. And instead of starting a real New Year's resolution and trying to like hit the ground running in January, which if you live in the northern hemisphere, it's cold and dreary and the sun sets super early and you naturally like want to hibernate. I kind of came across a TikTok that was like, why do we try to almost like push against nature and think that we are going to get all these things done in a time when it's cold and dark outside, when the rest of nature is either hibernating or the trees, or like have died off, instead of, kind of pushing the real like work and everything towards the spring when life comes back. And I thought that was like really interesting. And for someone like me in particular, where I hate the cold, I hate winter, once it gets dark at 4 p.m., like I might as well go to sleep. I was like, yeah, this actually does make a lot of sense. And I feel like it really aligned with how I had been feeling of this. I, I'm just going to take it slow. And I don't, even though I have a lot of goals and things I want to get done this year, it does not have to happen within the first 31 days of January. Like that is an insane thought. I'm taking small steps in January and, kind of laying out some things that I want to do this month for the rest of the year, but it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing, right? I can wait until I naturally have more energy. And I'll reiterate it here. I'll probably say it a lot this episode, just stop working against myself and start finally working with my body, whether that's, my sleep schedule or how I like to take breaks, how I like to work, or just my mind and how I know I have to do certain things just to like keep it all okay up here instead of thinking I need to fit this certain culture or vibe or whatever. It really doesn't have to be like that. I hate to admit this, but I used to be someone who would listen to Gary Vee. I could probably do like a whole deep dive on him in general, and I think the basis of a lot of what he says is true. Like, you should have self-awareness and you should take accountability for yourself and your actions, but he goes a little too far, and I feel like lately he's gone real far. Um, but he really did have me believing for a second, like, you need to grind, you need to hustle, like, I work harder than you because I don't sleep. And that sentiment is reiterated by a ton of people, but there's one thing I've always been a fan of. It is going to sleep, getting my 8 hours of honk shoes. And I truly believe that, like, sleep is when you rest and recover. Like, your body needs it, and to just be like, I'm gonna work, like, is ridiculous. Now, some people don't need to sleep as long as others, like, that is true, but it's just like that small thing, that hustle culture. I am over it. I don't think it's necessary. Obviously, it's difficult when you see everyone else in this idea of like FOMO and the grass is greener on the other side, or trying to like keep up or whatever. It is really difficult, but also like you can be just as successful as them without like driving yourself into the ground. And I would say you might be more because you won't be exhausted or just burnt out. I did have a kind of impromptu tarot card reading right before the new year. Actually, the day I recorded the last podcast episode, I went to a party and there was a tarot reader, and I was like, like, let's do it. And I've never had one before. I've always been kind of hesitant because sometimes I feel like they might fish for some information that, to then like make kind of general assumptions. And she could have been really good and been doing the same thing to me, but she just said a lot of stuff that really lined up with everything I had said earlier that morning. So that was like very crazy. I hadn't posted that episode or anything. Like, it was really weird. And she was pulling cards and talking about how this relationship with self, so myself, has been like turbulent, but I'm coming into a time where of growth, but it will be slow. Like, she said that I'm not someone whose like career or life is like fast and quick and happening, but instead this very like slow growth and slow journey. And it's pretty much what I had said in that episode and what I had been feeling. And it was kind of like, this is kind of crazy. Okay. And we spoke about other things, which maybe I'll share, but just not in this episode. And whatever you believe about tarot and all of that, whatever, it was kind of like just nice to almost hear some reassurance, or I don't know, to have a conversation. It was definitely more conversational, and I was able to like push back on some things that I didn't feel were necessarily relevant to me, but and just like discuss that idea of having a slow growth, slow development in your life, your career, your journey and success, versus like super fast viral, if we want to use like internet terms. So I don't know. It's kind of been in the back of my mind, and anytime I like get super crazy or whatever, I kind of like go back to that moment. And again, it could be total BS, but I don't feel like it's hurting anyone. I don't feel like it's hurting me. She wasn't like go uproot your life and leave your man, like whatever, like something crazy. It aligned with what I had felt, what I had been feeling. And the garbage truck is coming. So if you can hear that, I am very sorry. So, yes, to hear that, the day that I had recorded that episode was like, okay, well, like, let's, take it slow and day by day. And though I have all these ideas, they don't all have to be done now, right? One thing can build on the other, and let's focus on YouTube and the rebrand here, and then Instagram, and then we can move on to TikTok and your website and Pinterest. And, you have a year. It doesn't need to be like all done. Here you go. I'm a one woman show over here. I don't have a team. Wrap this portion of the episode up. I would hope that you are all doing well on your resolutions. I know my last episode was kind of like, let's not have resolutions. Instead, let's think of like just closing the book on things that don't serve us anymore. So I hope you might have taken that advice, or just be listening, or just simply having grace with yourself and not trying to push yourself too hard. Or maybe you need to push yourself a little bit more, but understanding how you work and operate to make better decisions overall, rather than trying to like push against yourself when it's clearly maybe it hasn't been working. So what does that then mean for YouTube? So I've hinted at it a few times, but here's the deal. I have switched to seasons of content, meaning there will be 8 weeks of content, and then I'm taking about 3 to 4 weeks off, 8 weeks of content, for the whole year. So the first season will start January 26th, which is today, and wrap up March 16th. And then season 2 will begin in mid-April and run for another 8 weeks, and there will be a total of 5 seasons this year. I just find that this should work better with, as I was talking about, kind of like helping with burnout, but also just helping me create higher quality content for all of you, creating a thorough, that's a word, yes, oh my god, it sounded so weird in my head for a second, storyline. So for this first season, the storyline is kind of turning 29. What that means, what that looks like for me, what it means in society, just like all of that stuff that kind of comes with it. I obviously have not turned 29 yet. My birthday isn't until March, but I thought it would be kind of an interesting journey to document. It is going to be the last year in my 20s. It's a big year for a lot of people. I feel like personally it's a big year for change. We can also talk about how it's Saturn. Your 29th year is typically like your Saturn's return, which means that every 29 years Saturn comes back to where it was on your birth, and it's usually filled with a bunch of like turmoil and kind of like the am I on the right path, like questioning a lot of things, which I feel like I'm doing, but I don't necessarily feel it's with the like anxiety that it might come with for some people. And that's really nice. That's really nice to be in a place where you're just open, right? The blank slate and questioning a lot of things, but just kind of like taking it in, seeing how it feels, and then letting it go, whether that's just a thought or a creative endeavor. I've kind of taken up a little bit of like painting, drawing lately. I'm not good, but it's kind of something fun to do at night, and who knows, I might keep up with it or I might not. That's the nice thing about hobbies, right? You never have to really be that good at them and you can stop when you want to. It's just, yeah, this sounds nice. It's relaxing for the time being. With that storyline, you'll still get the usual genre of content from me, like home stuff, Stitch Fix videos, talking about acne now in my late 20s, vlogs, birthday vlog, like the typical stuff, just there's a continuous kind of thread that will put a nice bow on it at the end. I know we had a lot of bow metaphors last episode, and I'm bringing them into this episode as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to turning 29, even though I haven't yet. It's also crazy that next year I will be 30. So the nitty gritty of this is my videos will now go out on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays. I just find that Thursdays are kind of a better time period for watch time and stuff on YouTube, and also engagement on other platforms where I kind of market the videos, that Thursdays usually work out better. Hopefully next episode I will be able to and this is the time that it will be. As of now, I'm not sure if I want to keep the evenings or switch to an early morning post. I would like to do an early morning post, but I think it just also kind of depends how much content I get done within these next 2 weeks and all of that, and just what works out. I'm hoping to get a lot done and filmed and edited and everything, but I'm waiting on some things to film, so we're just kind of have to play that one by ear. But I will obviously update you guys on my Instagram and my community tab what the schedule will be, but it will definitely be Thursdays. I am going to be more active on Instagram. It's a big goal for me, and also on TikTok. I was really excited about TikTok when I was first yeah, let's do it, and now I'm starting to get nervous now that the date kind of gets closer about what I want to do. I think because so many people post multiple times a day, I just don't think that's possible right now for me right now. So I don't know. I think I want to say 1 to 2 videos a week, which I know in reality that's low, but again, we're not going to push ourselves. Let's get our feet wet, see what's going on, and if something pops up, I can always add more. So that's kind of what the next year looks like of content as far as posting schedule and all of that goes. And obviously each season will have a different storyline through it, so we're not going to be worried about 29 for this whole year. That'd be ridiculous. The after 29 is a teaser. I am playing around with what exactly the theme is, but we are taking a vacation, so it's probably going to be spring break, kind of, almost, though my spring break is way more low-key than typical spring break, but vacation-y type of content, I think. And then summer, and then kind of back to work, and then Vlogmas, I think we'll basically be back to there. And so yeah, so just to wrap everything up, we have a little bit of change in schedule, definitely a change in the posting style. I hope you guys enjoyed the new style, the rebrand, everything. As always, if you guys have ideas what you want to see from me, whether on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, please let me know. I want to be able to show you guys what you want to see about just life as a 29-year-old who lives in Philadelphia and works in social media and has a YouTube channel and a dog and a house and all that stuff. I hope that your New Year's resolutions or non-resolutions are going well. You can always start over. Doesn't have to be a Monday, doesn't have to be a Sunday. It can be on a Thursday in June, right? These changes that we make are supposed to be for your life, or to kind of a stepping stone to something else. So it doesn't need to feel like all or nothing. Please give yourself grace, time to relax and reset and recharge during the winter months. Oh, I wanted to do a whole something we are proud of. I feel like I kind of said a lot of things I was proud of this episode. So I'm going to say I'm proud of doing the deep cleans of a lot of the rooms in this house over the past few weeks. It's been something I have been putting off but needed to do, and guess what? It took like a quarter of the time that I thought it would, which is usually the case when I procrastinate things. But I'm still proud I got it done, and the house just feels better. And I just need to remind myself that usually when the house gets a little crazy, I get a little crazy, so it's best to just keep things in order. Okay, let me know what you guys are proud of in your own lives, no matter how big or how small, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.